Paul Matthews, as portrayed by Nicolas Cage, is an ordinary college professor, boring, some might say, until he starts appearing worldwide in people's dreams. Let's talk about the new movie Dream Scenario. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for the new Nicolas Cage film Dream Scenario. This is playing in theaters now, and in fact, just this morning of this recording, the Golden Globe nominations were announced, and Nicolas Cage up for a Best Actor award at the Golden Globes this year for this film. So a lot to talk about here. Before we launch into the specifics of the film and I give you my thoughts on it, let me welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. We do movie and TV reviews here, and just about every day I do try to post something new. So always a lot to check out on the channel. Please consider subscribing, hit that notification bell, click the like button, comment down below. Did you see this movie? Let me know your thoughts on it. And all that stuff, of course, helps the channel out. So appreciate it. And let's talk about Dream Scenario, shall we? So Nicolas Cage, look, I've got a love-hate relationship with him. I can freely admit that. However, the last few years, he has really been picking some interesting projects. We go back a couple of years ago, he did this great movie called Pig that was in my top 10 of the year. And that same year, he did Willy's Wonderland, which was a lot of fun. Last year, he played himself in what is it called? The Unbearable Weightness of Massive Talent, or something like that. Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, I think that's what it was called. But that was a lot of fun, him and Pedro Pascal. But now we've got Dream Scenario. This is an A24 production, which means it's going to be on the quirkier side of things. A24 very often, sort of pushes the envelope of, mainstream cinema and stuff. And so this is definitely quirky, and just the premise is a little bit like Twilight Zone-y. So essentially, like I said up top, so Nicolas Cage plays this guy, Paul Matthews, who is a college professor. He's very, kind of ordinary, straight-laced, boring, some might say. But, he's a family man. He's got a wife and some kids, and he is, a good person for the most part, right? But all of a sudden, he finds himself as a media superstar due to being in these dreams. He starts appearing in people's dreams randomly. First, he finds out that his daughter was dreaming about him, and then people in his class, his students, were dreaming about him, and then he ends up going sort of viral because of this. And so this movie ends up being kind of a take on the instant fame these days of a lot of celebrities, including TikTok stars and stuff. So it talks about that a little bit, but also we have that kind of that supernatural element of why is he appearing in these dreams, which they never really do get to the bottom of, which makes it a little bit Twilight Zone-y. There's not always logic or reasoning in those types of old sci-fi shows from the past. So Nicolas Cage, though, plays this great, and I can see why he was nominated for a Golden Globe for this, because basically, he is at the center of this, but doesn't know why, and doesn't, isn't that kind of a person, like a showy person. In fact, in most of these dreams, he just is sort of standing there witnessing chaos as it happens. He's not really being active. He's not doing anything, and that bums him out. So he's got this crisis of, okay, why in everybody's dream am I just standing around? And that kind of hurts him a little bit. So this is a really, really interesting movie. So it is directed by this guy, Christopher Borgli, who, this is just his second feature film. So I don't really know him very well, but this may be a dude to watch out for, because I think he really toes that line, him and Nicolas Cage both, because this could easily have gone into really silly territory, and it is. There are definitely moments of humor here. I guess I would call this a comedy. The Golden Globes, differentiates between drama and comedy, and this is in the comedy section. But so is The Bear on Hulu, which is, I don't think, a comedy at all. So, it takes all forms. We remember the classic Golden Globes, nominating The Martian in Best Comedy and not nominating Burlesque and The Tourist in Best Comedy. Well, Burlesque, I guess, because it's comedy or musical, but so they sort of toe that line. But yeah, I would say this is. I don't know. This is a lot of things. It's hard to sort of pin this movie down. It does remind me a little bit of the subversiveness of Being John Malkovich. And I only saw that movie once, quite a while ago, so I don't really remember it that well. But just sort of the weirdness of that. Really, I feel like that movie maybe informed A24 of what kind of studio they wanted to be after, whoever Ari Aster or whoever saw that Being John Malkovich was like, oh, we should make movies like this in our studio. Because this is like, if you didn't tell me this was an A24 movie, I could have guessed it, because it's got that quirky nature to it. But this is a really interesting movie. Now, I don't want to give spoilers, so we won't really talk in detail about the ending of it. But I do think the ending leaves a little bit to be desired. It does sort of. I will say that it kind of comes full circle in terms of like the fame element, the flash in the pan kind of element. But I'm not sure if it quite gets the exact message across that it's meaning to with that ending. But also in this movie, we have Julianne Nicholson plays his wife. Michael Cera plays a dude at like one of these marketing firms that wants to capitalize on this newfound fame. Tim Meadows plays the dean at the school or the president of the school or whatever where he teaches, and they're buddies. But I mean, this movie is, I think, best if you know just kind of the basics going into it, because there's a lot of interesting twists and turns that even in this kind of silly premise do seem like if this were happening to this dude, in order of things happening, it seems logical, like it seems like, not to put like a real world spin on it, but if this were the real world and if this were really happening to this dude, it seems like a lot of the things that might happen to him are kind of covered in this movie. So it covers a lot of ground in terms of that kind of fast fame and the sci-fi element of it, and just his own neuroses. I think he plays this character very, very well. So overall, yeah, this is a very good movie. You can catch it in select theaters right now. It may expand after the Golden Globe nomination. It's only been out a few weeks, so we'll see about that. But I leave it with an A-. You can check that out in theaters now. All right, thank you so much for watching Dan Reviews It. We'll see you next time. Bye.